Hey everyone, I'm Hadia Samreem. I'm assistant professor from Department of Computer Science, St. Joseph's Degree and PG College. So today we will be dealing with the topic Introduction to Relational Database Management System with the course title Relational Database Management System as well. So yeah, we will just see the introduction part. So before going further, we will first revise about the basic concepts, basic terminologies. That is, let me change the slide. Yeah. So some basic definition that we must know before learning about RDBMS. That is database management, and database management system. So you might have heard that data is the new oil. This saying you might have heard, right? So, for any industry, for any startup, for any e-commerce website, for any business, if they are dealing with the data correctly, then they are growing for sure, right? We can bet on them, right? So, what is data? That is the importance of data, right? So, what is data? Data is some raw facts, some raw or random facts. Like, for example, your name, your age, your marks, and your contact number, anything like this, some raw or random fact can be uh, called as data, but it is not processed. Like it can't give some proper meaning. It is not meaningful. It is not processed. It is just raw, right? So it must be formatted for storage, for processing, and for the presentation. So that is what is known as data. But what is it when it is meaningful? Then comes database into the picture. Database is some meaningful data. That is, it is collection of logically interrelated data that gives us some meaning. All right, that is known as database. For example, suppose you have some courses, there are some students. So a number of courses can be taken by some students, a number of students can take some course, right? So that is interrelated data. In your college only, in your class only, you can take that example, right? So that is known as some interrelated data. So that is database. But there is a huge amount of database, right? So it must be very hectic to create it, to maintain it, to manage it. So there must be some management, right? It must be organized. So that is where database management comes into the picture. That is, it is a collection of organized data. So, what is it? We can create, we can maintain our collection of which type of data? Organized data through database management. So, this is all about data, database, and database management. But for managing this, we need something. How are we going to manage it? Did you think about it? So, we have some software. We have a software. We will be having some software that is designed to manage it, to manipulate it, to define, to retrieve, to do any sort of operations on our database. In short, to manage and maintain it. Then it is known as database management system, that is abbreviated as DBMS. So this is all about the basic definitions of data, database, database management system. Clear? So next, we will go for our main topic, that is relational database. Relational database. What is relational database? So relational database, since the database is a collection of data, right? So how will we be organizing it? we will organize it in the form of tables. Right? For example, this is very common. You have seen everywhere. There are some rows, some columns that are plotted against each other, right? You must have seen some spreadsheets, table in general. That is how we organize database in relational database. All right, that is known as relational database, so that we can easily access it, right? So, because there is huge amount of database, we need to access it efficiently. It must be time efficient. It must be space efficient. Lot of things must be considered. That is why we came up with this common and very easy, very simple database, that is relational database. Who introduced this? E.F. Cott introduced this in the year 1970. He was a researcher, computer scientist, and a mathematician in IBM. All right. So, what do we use in relational databases to store the data? We use rows and columns. So, we have some specific terminologies we use to in relational database. I'll show you. See, you are familiar about the terminologies, that is rows and columns till now, right? So, in RDBMS, we call columns, we also call it as attributes. And we also call rows as entities, or we can also say records or data, etc. Data records, columns are attributes, and rows are entities. So, attributes or columns, we will be having some column names. For example, employee ID, name, salary, age, and in the rows, the actual records, the data will be stored. That is known as entity. And we also call it as records, because suppose there is Kavita, some person named Kavita. Her record is this. Her database record. This one is her record. Piyush's record is this. That is how we call it. We use it. So, next. So, we have three things majorly: relation, entities, and attributes. Relation is nothing but the table. The table itself is known as the relation table, that contains rows and columns of related data. That is known as a relation. Then we have rows, that are also known as entities or records, etc. And columns, that are also known as attributes. So rows are the items about which some relevant information is stored. For example, previously we have seen Piyush's data will be in the complete row. Some ABC's data will be in the complete row, the complete record. That is how it works. So then column have the entity, the quantity, qualities of the attributes or qualities of some specific thing. So these are this is it. So next we will see what is the relationship. We have seen what is table, what are rows, columns, entities, attributes, etc. So a relationship is a connection between the data stored in relational database table. So for example, we have some stock table here and supplier table here. So there is some relation. There is a relation between the stock table and the supplier table. The stock and supplier we have some common connection, that is supplier ID. There is a connection between these two. So that is known as relationship. There must be a common attribute that connects these two. That is known as relationship. Next comes join. In what is the difference between join and relationship? Join is also a connection between two tables where we merge the data. Can you see in relationship we have two different tables, right? Um Even though we have the same column, the common column, but the tables are two. Tables are different, not merged. But in join, we will be merging the tables together. Based on what? Based on the common field, common column, that is supplier ID. Previously, we have seen, as we have seen, can you see here? Supplier ID was common in this relationship. So we joined both the tables and we got our join. That is it. So we create a new virtual table, not actual table. We will just create a virtual table that is known as join. So to by we have seen all the basic things. So we will finally come to the relational database management system. What is it? So it simply is a software. It is a software that is used for managing the relational database. That is RDBMS. Its examples are MySQL, MS Access. We will learn about it in detail. But the main thing, the key point is that the software that is used to manage relational database is known as RDBMS. That is it. So let's sum it up. So RDBMS applications are stored in tabular form. That is, we have seen everything just now, the rows, the columns, etc., etc. So the data that is stored in tabular form is known as RDBMS, and a relational database, and that relational database will be managed by the software that is RDBMS, that is relational database management system. Attributes are the characteristics, right, or columns, and entities are the rows of the table. Table is also known as the relation. And we also have relationship and join. Join is used to combine two or more table based on the common or related column between them. That is it for today. Thank you for joining.